Hi, I'm Alex from Naked Buddha, and I'm here with Sue Beer from the EFT Centre. And today we thought we'd do a short video about our EFT Clinic app, which Sue's been working on with us. EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, and has been found to help with a whole range of different things, and there's quite a lot of different parts to the app and things you can get help with. But I thought it'd be nice to get to know a little bit more about the lady behind the app, which obviously is Sue. So thank you for being here today, Sue. So how did you originally get into the world of EFT?
Well, I first came across EFT in a supervision session for my therapy practice, and I was shown a clip on the internet of somebody who'd been suffering with a blood phobia for years apparently, and having EFT applied to the problem and seeing it disappear in front of my eyes in a couple of minutes. And the question in my supervision session was, how did that happen? You know, how does this work? And I don't think anybody else was particularly interested. I think that they just thought it was weird. And I probably spent the rest of my life, or the last 15 years, working out how did that happen.
Okay. And I know that you got involved in EFT when it was very early days for the area. Mm-hmm. And you went off and became an EFT master and all that kind of thing. And I'm wondering a little bit about how that influenced your practice, because you mentioned it was in a hypnotherapy supervision. I know you'd also done training in NLP and life coaching, that kind of thing.
Psychotherapy, yeah.
Yeah, so how did you and how do you see EFT kind of sitting alongside those other kind of modalities?
Well, I would say that EFT is the tool, really, within that kind of therapeutic toolbox that has allowed us to make huge strides forwards in helping people with really serious problems with anxiety, with depression, and not only solving problems but helping people to do things better, so to be more confident, to sleep better, to be better at learning, better at bringing up children. So I believe that this is something which can really change the way that we relate to one another and the way that we are in the world. I think it's that important.
Well, I guess it's a very different way of working with things, especially if you gave the example of a blood phobia. That in traditional psychotherapeutic work you could spend potentially years talking about it and understanding all the intricacies of where it came from and that kind of thing. And there's a real simplicity to EFT. And I'm wondering how that's kind of impacted you as a practitioner, and how you see that in the context of working with people, that it can be so powerful and so rapid for people.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really important point, that it is so simple, it's so apparently simple, and we don't need to really analyse what's going on, and we get a much greater communication with our own bodies through using the tapping, where we're actually literally tapping on parts of our body. And then we begin to realise that in fact our bodies are communicating to us and with us and through us all the time. So we begin to sort of learn more about really tuning into ourselves and cultivating a kind of silent communication, and less about being in our heads and analysing everything and trying to work out why we have a problem, when really all the time the solutions are here inside ourselves.
Well, I think that's one of the fascinating things. I think often, people watching this video may be the same. People can be quite almost sceptical that there are all these kind of sometimes quite miraculous claims that are made for it, and that it sounds like kind of what you're saying is people have to suspend some of that to have that experience. And I know that there's been a phrase in the EFT world of try on everything, and I'm wondering about your thoughts, because I really like this idea of just people experimenting. What's great about obviously an app is people haven't got to spend hundreds or thousands of pounds going and learning something. They can just try it and see what happens.
And that is so important. We can try it on everything. We will always have the opportunity to go to an expert practitioner, because there are many people now that have trained to a very high level, and so that's always a possibility. But there is so much that we can do for ourselves using EFT as a tool, and that is very, very empowering to know that you can make a change in something that may have been holding you back on many levels, and being able to do something for yourself begins to make you realise, well, if I can do this, if I can get over that fear of heights, or that fear of spiders, or something like that, what else can I do? And we're beginning to see now, hundreds and even thousands of people now who've had that experience for themselves.
Well, I guess that's also one of the benefits as well. I'm talking about the benefits of the app, that one of the things is, even if people are seeing a practitioner, to have something they can just do in conjunction with that as a continued support, and also people just doing it, by themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's getting over this idea that we have to go to somebody who will fix us.
Right.
So it's not that we'll have no need for therapists or doctors. That's absolutely not going to be the case. But we're not dependent on other people, and once we begin to realise how powerful we are ourselves, then everything changes, really.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, thank you, Sue, for being here, and thank you for watching. If people haven't already downloaded it, then I really encourage them to go to the App Store, and if you search for EFT Clinic, then you'll be able to find it there. So thanks for watching. We look forward to talking with you, perhaps in another video in the future.